Hi. I have the honor whenever I see a couple eyeballs popping in because I'm here. I'm just getting my life together. But am I not always getting my life together? I'm like, I'm probably legitimately, I think I'm the most struggliest streamer of all time. But at this point, I just embrace it, honestly. Honestly. I'm trying to make my post because I don't do well with a lot of social media platforms, but since I be on Instagram all the time, I feel like at the very least, I can be consistent on there. And I've been doing better lately. So I was going to finish my little post before I started, but when I start seeing eyeballs popping in, at least you can know you're not hanging by yourself. Let's see. I have not done a night stream in I don't know how long. I'm trying to think like when's the last time we had a night stream for real, for real? And I make no promises for how long this is about to go, but I'm here for it. Um, it took quite some time to get my baby to go to sleep. Yeah, it took a minute. It took an hour and a it took like an hour and a half. Um, on top of the fact that we went to a networking event, so I'm going to make my little IG post so people can know we are live because I'm like a whole hour late from what I said I was going to stream. But I feel like I'm here to stand on business and deliver on what I've been promising. So in my heart of hearts, I just knew like as long as it didn't get too late, I have to show up. I have to. Um, let me see. I need to post a link. HTTPS colon forward slash forward slash YouTube. That's not, they don't say YouTube. YouTube.com forward slash at meta dev girl. I think that's it. Um, I know we be on Twitch and I love my Twitch people. However, we're trying to grow the YouTube. We're trying to grow the YouTube. So paste that. So whenever I post my links, I just post the link to YouTube. If you're a Twitch person, I feel like Twitch people know how to find live streams anyway. So I shouldn't have to like coach you through how to find the live stream. But if you just gotta click on a link, I'd rather people click on the YouTube link. So I'm pretty sure that's good. I was supposed to put on my lip gloss. I wanted to wear some lip gloss. I'm kind of excited. I feel like I can sit here for like at least till midnight. I if I go to sleep at midnight, if I legit go to sleep at midnight and I can still get my 7 hours of sleep in and get up at my normal time. But we are officially on sleep mode at this point. So we shall see. Wait, did I post that? Let me see. Ugh. Not Puerto Rico. I want to go to Puerto Rico. Okay. I think I did the hard part. Let me check. I want to see. I'm gonna check the YouTube stream. Once I check in on the YouTube stream, I'll feel good about moving forward. Wait, what was that? Gemini Plus Notebook LM. That is getting added to the watch later. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. I feel like it's only been like 2 weeks since I streamed, but it feels like it's been like 2 years since I streamed. I have programs to announce, and I'm actually behind on the LlamaCon updates because I was watching LlamaCon the other day. At this point, I think that was like 2 days ago, and I never finished watching it. So I kind of wanted to see what they were talking about. Um, so yeah, let me see. I just want to see the YouTube stream is good. View channel. Hi, I see myself. Let me see. Why y'all can't hear the music? How long has the music not been playing? Cause don't tell me the music ain't been playing this whole time for like the past few streams. Let me see. Is the music gonna play? I'm just trying to see if the music will play. It's literally not. Whatever. I don't care. I mean, I do care. I care a lot, actually. But why won't the music play? Am I tripping? I can hear the music. It's monitoring. It's just not outputting. Let me see what Twitch sounds like. Usually Twitch is the struggly side. Twitch. This is why you have to check on your stream. That's wild. What am I doing something wrong? I'm see. Oh, live stream is just too hard. All right. Anyways, let's see. I'm gonna try like. Oh, live stream is just too hard. All right. Anyways, let's Yeah, it's legit. Just not. It's just not. It's just not. Um, I hope it. Literally, of course, my fucking music would not be playing. My music probably haven't been playing for the longest time, and nobody said nothing, and I just didn't know. Do I have to put it on a certain track? See, this is why I'm about to just go back to Streamlabs. Actually, I just realized when I was going live today that my I'm using Restream so that we can stream to Twitch and YouTube at the same time. And I just used like a plugin, but I just looked at it today and I'm like, they have their own like live streaming setup now, like a live streaming studio. So I might try that out because I do like, being able to multi-stream, and so far haven't had any issues with Restream specifically. But I feel like it's my OBS setup that's just like, it's just subpar. It could be me. I could definitely be having a skill issue, but I would prefer that the music was playing. I don't want to I don't want to break anything. No, I'm not about to restart my stream. That's what's not about to happen. Let me see. Monitoring output. Monitor off. Monitor off. Monitor off. Mic. Do I need to put it on the track? I thought the purpose of the tracks was more so for recording. Let me see. Because I am not an audio expert. There we go. And now it's blasting. Now it's blasting insanely loud. But welcome to the party. All right, we're gonna turn it down. We can turn it down. Because this one I've been hearing for the last 20 minutes. I'm just gonna play with the levels because I can hear it now. That's wild. So I will be so mad if I find out I haven't had music in my stream for like however long. That's crazy. And y'all wasn't gonna tell me. That's okay though. Anyway, y'all be out here letting me embarrass myself. That's wild. All right. Hello. It's a night stream. It's a night stream. I am supposed to be in my bed right now. So I make no promises. But I did kind of make promises because I was posting in my Instagram story trying to let people know that I got some stuff coming, and I felt like it would only be right to make sure that I announce it on stream because this is my most hardcore loved community. Um, Besides my actual like in person Detroit squad. And I have kind of brought this up to a couple people in person already because I went to a networking event earlier today. So I'm trying to think. It's been a long A day. I posted a reel today. I went to a networking event today. I mostly went to the networking event to run into people that I am running a program for. So I have one program. It is a student program though. It's for Wayne State students. So that one's less interesting to like the general population. But I do have a program that's launching, and any day now is going to get broadcast to the students. So I went to basically kind of cross paths with the partner that we're working on with the program, because it's just easier. Honestly, a lot of times I'm noticing like it's just easier to be in the same place at the same time and talk through some different topics with people than it is to like wait for them to respond to their emails, especially if it's somebody at like a director or executive level. Like, they're not responding to their emails in no type of timely fashion. And I get it because they get swamped. So I knew I needed to go out for just to make sure. I'm like, I sent like 4 or 5 emails this week, which was mostly like a couple different things we needed to handle for the program, getting ahead of the program launch. Because, like I said, like I think probably, I don't know what day, but I'm assuming Monday, the general student body is going to get like a notification of the program that we are hosting. So it was a few different things that I wanted to kind of get ahead of for that. And yeah, it was better for me to go and cross paths, be in the same space at the same time as the partner that we're working with. So that way I could just talk through a couple things with her, make sure it was good to go, and get any of my last final details because I like to get ahead of things. So that worked well. And then I ran into some other people who I work with in the tech space, and I was telling them like, hey, I'm about to launch a boot camp. And they're like, what's that mean? what's that what's that gift when the guy's like, no, I think he's just like, I gotta find it. Don't clip that. But there is like, yeah, I feel like the shock on people's faces was hilarious, but also, I don't know. I'm at a point where I'm just like, I said this a couple times over the past few days. I've been working in tech for 10 plus years now, specifically in the Detroit tech ecosystem. I have started out as somebody that was new to programming. I have been in a I've been through the journey of being a self-taught programmer. I learned all my front-end web development experience from self-teaching and basically taking different workshops. I worked at a coding boot camp here in Detroit. Basically our like premier coding boot camp that was here for a very long time. It was a startup. So recently they got acquired, which is normal for a startup life cycle. However, pretty much I just been at a point where I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm like one of the best ghostwriters of all time when it comes to like actual programming, programming programs, the coding programs, right? So I was there in the beginning when we started building our own curriculum in house. I think probably to this very day, some of the examples and things that I built for like labs and like the hands-on activities that we did with our students might still be in the lab book, like literally to this day. I built out when we first did our like front end boot camp. I built out pretty much most, if not the majority, yeah, most if not all. I won't say all. Maybe in the beginning I built out probably most if not all of the actual activities that went into the lab book, tested them out, made the sample code, that kind of stuff. And that was even before I fully transitioned into tech. Then I did some freelancing and front end development. However, once I decided I wanted to be a full stack developer, before it was a such thing as being a full stack JavaScript developer, which is wild and crazy kids to say. I actually took a Java boot camp in order to become a full stack developer. So I knew front end, JavaScript on the front end. We didn't have like React didn't exist, and Angular was like barely a thing, and like the idea of using React was just like goofy at the time. So pretty much, yeah, I started out with Java on the back end. That's how I became a full stack developer. And that was like, I think I took my boot camp in 2015 or 2016, something like that. So it's been a long time since I've been doing this work. Um, so not only was I there for laying the groundwork when it came to building out some of our actual curriculum and programs when I worked for the coding boot camp. Over time, I became an instructor as well, a full-time instructor. I also directed an apprenticeship program in our Obama administration. They actually had something called the Tech Hire initiative, I think, and our boot camp was a part of that initiative. So we were like offering an apprenticeship program that was designed for, like shorters to come in and take. They didn't take a full boot camp with us. Like our boot camps at the time were like 8 weeks, and they took like a 6 week program. But that was because their tenure was more of like a year long experience as opposed to just the 8 weeks. So they would come in, they would get like a 6 week program where they would learn the basic foundations in programming. In this case, we were doing Java. So it literally used to call it Java apprenticeship. So I taught for the Java apprenticeship. I directed the apprenticeship. And then when I left teaching for the first time, I became a full stack software engineer with my Java back end experience and my JavaScript front end experience. I worked for an agency. I did full stack web development, full stack software development for about a year at that agency. I did a lot of different languages besides Java. Actually, I don't think I touched a lick of Java that whole time. Java is not my favorite, by the way. But I don't think I touched a lick of Java. I got hired as a Ruby on Rails like software engineer. So we did mostly Ruby on Rails. We did some PHP, like Laravel projects. We did WordPress. We did a lot of JavaScript. We pretty much did whatever our clients were looking for. Following that, I ended up working for a startup directly, and the startup I worked for, their whole code base was in Laravel, PHP. To this day, I would not put PHP on my resume. I can't even lie. I would say like play one on TV, but like I don't consider myself to be a PHP developer. However, I did do quite a bit of like work on a Laravel project. It was a full stack project. I was like pretty much, when I was working on it, I was the only dev that they had. So I was doing everything. I was doing the front end, I was doing the back end. It was like a two-sided, like, I don't want to say it's a marketplace, but it was like a matchmaking, like Tinder, but for jobs type of thing. So I was doing the front end, the back end, the UI, but also the database queries, as well as the admin side of things. After that, I got into, what I do after that? Oh, I got into my fellowship program. It's called Hacker Fellows. I hope they bring Hacker Fellows back. Funny thing about Hacker Fellows is Hacker Fellows started at Grand Circus, or as a partnership with Grand Circus. And when I was doing the phase of life where I was actually helping build out the JavaScript curriculum originally, even before we were getting into the JavaScript curriculum, like I think one of the first curriculums I helped build out was the Hacker Fellows curriculum. Hacker Fellows was pretty much a program that tried to match software engineers with local startups. And then there was like some form of like Hacker Fellows, I think Hacker Fellows subsidized the salary. Oh, child. All right, we're not about to do that. but I think Hacker Fellows subsidized the salary to some capacity. But when Hacker Fellows first started, I was helping build out labs for Hacker Fellows. I was like connecting with them, and then fast forward like 2-3 years later, I became a fellow. When I became a fellow, I worked for a vehicle connectivity company. It was like one of my favorite jobs of all time, even though it was also one of the most stressful jobs I ever had. Um, we were essentially the middle, we were like the cloud between a vehicle, say like a mobile developer for a vehicle, what do you call it, like an automotive mobile developer is on one side, right, and the vehicle's on the other side, and we completely sat in the middle. So all of the APIs that you would use to interface with the vehicles, as well as all the protocols that is necessary to interface with all of the vehicles that connected to the platform, pretty much we like offloaded that entire process. So the fun thing about my job when I worked on vehicle connectivity is I worked on both sides of the platform. I worked on the side of the platform that was the vehicle API. So I worked on the side of the platform. Basically, when I was on the vehicle API team, we were like responsible for exposing all of the data that is available to the vehicles, or bringing in all the data that the vehicles should be receiving, all the authentications and things that is required in that process, authorization, and whatnot. And like I said, pretty much we were offloading a lot of the work. So like the engineers on the automotive side, they would not have to worry about, oh, this is like a 2004 model year vehicle and it has this type of architecture, so we have to interface in it in this way, whatever. Basically, they just call our APIs and we do all the hard part of like figuring out how that data needs to be translated. So when I first started, like I said, I worked on one side of the platform, and then fast forward, I worked on the opposite side of the platform, which was connecting the vehicles to the cloud. So all of the like authentications and authorizations, if that's even the correct term for it, because it was a lot of like certificates and hashing and algorithms, just lots of stuff that I never did before. A lot more infrastructure heavy stuff. Technically, I was like on the IoT team at that point, or Internet of Things, and that was fun. And even when I was working there, I was still teaching for like the coding boot camp, but I was teaching like some of the part-time programs, so programs that were in the evening or like workshops. Um, After that, what did I do after that? I took a hiatus because my brain was destroyed. Can't even lie. Um, but really, it was more so that as much as I love that job, I've been wanting to be in AI since I took my since I took my first full-time engineering job. I wanted to be in machine learning. And the company that I was working for originally, that's what they were supposed to be doing, but they just never could get there because there was a lot more things they had to do. And yeah, it was like for people that knew me back when I was streaming in like 2020, 2021, I pretty much was burning myself out because during the day I was doing Java or Kotlin, and in the evening I was doing Python and JavaScript. So like all my live streams and stuff back in that time frame, I was pretty much trying to learn like different JavaScript tools, different Python tools, machine learning, things like that, and just all the context switching. I was literally burning myself out. So I ended up taking the hiatus from like full-time engineering. I wanted to, I was like, at some point I lost track of like the entrepreneurship side of things. So I ended up getting into like managing a co-working space here in Detroit. That was fun. Then I went back to teaching. I went back to the boot camp because here in Detroit, we have an Apple Developer Academy. The Apple Developer Academy launched, I want to say 2021 would have been our first program, and almost like I literally, I literally got recruited back to my job at the boot camp because I have a good skill for those transitional programs. The basically translating like tech for people that do not have a technical background or are not coming from a computer science background. There was a lot of interesting and just crazy things that happened in my life during that time frame, including me having a child. Um, so I was on the hiatus for like a hot second, but I did when the academy first launched. I was like one of the first actual mentors because even though I didn't work inside of the academy, I taught what's called the foundations program, and I taught foundations directly at Grand Circus. Like I taught like an evening remote version of foundations. I guess it's been at least 4 years since that happened, and yeah, I've still been working. Obviously, for people that have been following me on Twitch and YouTube and all the good things, I've been trying to see. I came back to streaming in 2022. We did our 100 days of machine learning. I have since been able to pivot a lot of my, I'm not going to say all of my work right now is in machine learning, but I have a big focus on machine learning, and I've been able to actually work on some machine learning projects as far as like founders that I work with and things like that. Um, I have been coaching for an accelerator slash incubator type of program here in Detroit, which is the same program that I'm building some student entrepreneurship initiatives with. We do MVP development, which is minimum viable products. We do some MVP development. What else? Basically matching. I've been over the like 3 years or 4 years that our MVP program has existed. I started out getting matched with founders and building their MVP for them. And then now I'm at a point where I don't typically match with founders anymore. I typically coach the developers that are coming into the program. However, it makes sense because I also have trained most of our developers that are in the program. Because again, like I said, I think I'm at a point where I'm like one of the best ghostwriters of all time when it comes to technical programs, coding programs and curriculums, things like that. So I actually have built multiple programs that either allow people to transition into tech or allow them to like basically like workforce development, upward mobility, enhancing your skill sets in tech and things like that. And I've done like so much behind the scenes work, which I'm happy to do. I don't need to be out front. That's never the point to me. Like the thing I'm most passionate about beyond anything else is just the fact that I want to see people have opportunities. I am the person that literally I've been good at math and science my entire life, and somehow, no matter how good of a school I went to, no matter how high of a test score I ever got, like the most that anybody could tell me was you can be a math teacher. And it's no shade to teachers. Like I literally pretty much have been teaching my entire like tech career, but it was like, oh, like the best that somebody could tell me that I could do with my STEM like skill set was go like be a third grade math teacher. And I didn't know what engineering was. I didn't know what it meant to be a software engineer, especially. I didn't find out more so about engineering careers until I was like a senior in college. I was a music major and I was a math minor. And I was only a math minor because I literally did not know what to do with my math skills. And I got to a point where I was like bored of being a music major, if that's even something that you could say. I'm very good at music, and I've been singing since before I could talk, and I pick up on music very well. So I definitely got to a point in my career where I was a vocal performance major. I never fucking practiced like ever. Like I literally never practiced. I hate practicing. I learned all my music in my actual voice lessons, and at some point my voice coach was going to figure that out. Um, if she hadn't already, I mean, honestly, she probably had figured it out. But because I'm so quick to pick up music, I think she was giving me a pass. But definitely, that was gonna catch up to me at some point. And I just realized, like looking around, I'm like, I'm not as passionate about this as the other people who are in my program. And I also really didn't know what I was gonna do with music once I graduated from college. And at the same time, I was just kind of like, what am I supposed to do with my interest in math? Because, like, I don't want to be a math major. So, like, what else can I do? And it was after I joined my sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. After I joined my sorority, multiple of my sorors in my chapter were engineering majors. And so when I was, like, trying to figure out what I should do, they're like, how come you're not an engineer? I don't, I don't know what an engineer is for real, for real. Like, nobody in my family has that type of background. Like, I'm technically a first generation college student. Like, I don't know what an engineer does. And so that was like when I got my first exposure. But like at this point, I'm like 21, 22. I'm probably like 21 years old. I never knew what an engineer was. I never been in an engineering program. I never been in a STEM program, I don't think. Even though I can literally, like, math is my first language almost. And I really just say all that to say, like, whenever I have been a part of any type of coding or STEM education programs, not just for adults, but for children as well, because I've taught and developed a lot of programs for K through 12 as well. My whole inspiration behind it has just been the idea that, for one, I think it's completely ridiculous that I checked all the boxes and somehow I just was not one of those people that was recommended to any of the different STEM options that was available. Nobody ever explained to me what STEM meant. And that really messed with me for a minute once I discovered there was this whole world that like nobody really thought that I should know about. And then another thing about coding in particular is that when I took my coding boot camp, this was like a big life change for me because I was an engineering student at the time. I was a mechanical engineering student. So whenever I finally figured out, like, you know what, music, like, I love music. I would never, ever, I think I would never lose my passion for music. But I like to sing when I want to sing. I like to sing as a hobby. It is an expression for me. I don't like getting a grade for singing. I don't want to have to show up at a certain time on a certain day. Like, I'm very much just like, if I'm not inspired, it's just not happening. Um, when I decided basically when I took my boot camp, I basically decided like I'm just gonna leave school full time. I was a full time student and I left my engineering program to take my back end boot camp for a lot of reasons, but mostly because college is expensive and it's not really like just something that you can kind of like wink an eye at when you are a first generation college student, if you grew up under the poverty line, etc., things like that. And then when I got my first coding job, like, I literally went from poverty to like upper middle class in one single job and like 8 weeks of dedicated study. And to me, like, the accessibility of even being able to take a boot camp, like, I happened to be in a position where I was able to leverage my teaching skills at the time and leverage my existing programming skills at the time, because even though I worked for a coding bootcamp, I still paid for my bootcamp, but I pay in kind for my bootcamp. I think I paid like my actual deposit in cash, and then all the rest of the fees that I had to like attribute to my bootcamp, I paid them off by teaching programs over the course of a year. But all that to say, I literally went from couldn't pay for school and struggling, to like make ends meet, to having like to being upper middle class for real in like one job. And I don't know, there's just so much to having access to the right type of like workforce development opportunities, and just in general having access to career paths that you can be completely and totally suited for and completely and totally interested in, but may not even know that they exist. And even if you know that they exist, you honestly just might not have the resources for it. So I've been working in the background of a lot of different organizations and initiatives. There's a lot that I didn't like talk about, like there's different nonprofits and different programs that I worked for where I've been building curriculums and helping people transition into tech. Essentially, since I started in my journey, even before I was successfully like working as a developer, I was helping people get into tech. And so, anyways, I say all that to say I'm at a point now where I've just been very aware of like it's such a gap in the space when it comes to not just programs that are like thoughtful and meaningful and actually helpful, but also the affordability of programs, also access to programs, like the timing that you have, the locations and things like that. And there was definitely a cash grab, I think, that happened around the time of the pandemic, because so many people, so many companies were hiring, just overly hiring into their tech roles, that a lot of companies kind of sprung up boot camps and things, and they weren't really teaching like good, thoughtful curriculum. They weren't really making sure that students were successful. And now I'm noticing that on the tail end of that, not only have a lot of those programs realized, hey, we're at a point where this is no longer worth us trying to maintain, but what I want to say, like I think I have to do some research on this to like fact check myself, but I'm pretty confident in the thought that a lot of the actual solid boot camps that came up in like the early 2010s era, those a lot of those programs, they're like reaching their expiration date in the startup world. Most of those programs were startups. Like when I worked for a coding bootcamp, it was a startup. And the thing about startups that a lot of people don't realize is like about 7 to 10 years is like the life cycle before the investment that was made needs to be returned or is expected to be returned. So return could be IPO, like a public offering, the company goes public, people can buy stock, etc. Or another event that could happen is the company could get acquired. So that happened to I think that happened in our city recently. The company that everybody knew for coding boot camps got acquired, and that's normal in the startup life cycle. But I think them getting acquired left a huge gap in our ecosystem in particular. And I'm just, like I said, I have to fact check to see how other boot camps are doing, like in the Bay Area and other spots where those became popular. But I just believe that 9 times out of 10, none of them are going public. Most of them probably got acquired in some way, shape, or form. And a lot of companies that did have coding boot camps, they're just not pursuing that anymore. And it kind of, the thing that stresses me out and that kind of like I kind of lose sleep over It's just the fact that honestly, there's so many people that can benefit from the overall training and access and like the upward mobility in their careers to even be able to go through a program. And even like I said, in our city, that just doesn't exist anymore. And so in the background, I have been working and looking into and just building on some materials for um we originally started with a free code camp curriculum and wanting to build like a free program that people can go through for the free code camp curriculum. And that is still a thing for sure. But at this point, I'm like, I've been working on Meta Dev World like in the background. I've talked about it. I think people are kind of somewhat familiar if you have been like keeping up with my streams for any amount of time. And over time, I started to realize like I'm pretty sure this is turning into a coding school. Like I think this is a school. I could go down a rabbit hole of how years and years and years and years ago, I remember like I kind of had a vision of like starting a school, like an engineering school. And yeah, fast forward, I'm pretty sure that I'm starting a school at this point. But just, just trying to follow where I feel like I'm being led and trying to feel my way through it. But I do believe that I'm at a point now where I'm like, why aren't you releasing the materials that you have and the programs that you have and activating the community that you know really truly needs it? I'm at a point where like I've been stopped on the street essentially by students that I've had years ago that still are like, you know what, every like the material that you built or like the course that you provided for us, it was so helpful. Like it's the reason why why I am where I am. And like I don't say that to like toot my own horn in any way, shape, or form, because God gets all the glory. But it's more so just to say like I have really been like doing this work from like a genuine place in my heart of just wanting to see other people have access to opportunities in the same way that I felt like I should have known more about this and should have had more access to this. And I think the way that you build programs needs to be thoughtful. The affordability of your programs needs to be thoughtful, and just the overall access and what you are trying to provide for people. Like the people who you are serving have to be kept in mind. And one thing that I do feel is a struggle is like a lot of the places that I have worked, like no shade to anybody, but I know for a fact that a lot of programs just have not cared in the same way that I care, especially when it's like Detroit-based programs, right? Because I literally am a girl from Detroit, like grew up in the hood, went to all the regular neighborhood schools. I did go to a school of choice whenever I got to high school, but I had to test into my school in order to get into there. And it's amazing that I even tested into my school, considering that I went through a subpar curriculum throughout my life. But I always had really amazing math teachers, specifically, and math has always been a strong suit for me ever since I was very little. And so yeah, I mean, I'm at a point now where I'm like, I don't want to keep seeing people underserved and seeing those opportunities and that energy kind of go to waste when people are like excited about a program or even putting money into a program and it does not get them a job at the end of the day. And it's not to say that a program should automatically just turn over a job for you. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that I feel that when somebody is diligently working, when they're putting in the effort and the energy and acquiring the skills that they need, it should not be such a uphill battle in order to transition into the field. However, it, like I said, it does require a lot of thoughtfulness. It requires intentionality. It requires dedication, not just from the student, but from the program and from the instructor and things like that. And so I'm like going off on a tangent, but not really, just to say like at this point I have multiple programs that I'm kind of like, we need to announce these programs, we need to start these programs, we need to set up like getting people able to sign up and things like that. I was supposed to like actually have all my links set up and just have everything ready to go today. However, that's just not how life has been working because it was multiple things that I needed to do. However, I still wanted to come live to talk about it because I will be and am launching a I'm launching multiple programs. So the main two programs that we're focused on right now are Swift and Full Stack. So Swift is obviously not obviously to some people, but Swift is iOS development in particular. However, the language Swift, the language itself, is a general programming language. So I'm very focused on offering Swift programs because, especially here in Detroit, a lot of people are able to go through or take advantage of us having an Apple Developer Academy in our city, which is very rare because I want to say we were the first program in the entirety of North America. And that is what they're taught. When I used to teach foundations, that's what we taught. We taught Swift and Swift UI. So it was specific. It was important for me to offer a Swift program specifically, and then we have been working on a full stack program as well. So full stack being full stack JavaScript, front end and back end. And then the last program that I want to do in the near future as well is going to be for machine learning. That's going to be Python based. But right now, I think that's like the third program that will be getting rolled out. So essentially, I have a mini. I'm going to be offering a mini bootcamp in Swift. The mini bootcamp is just it'll have like the basics of programming using Swift UI. You would learn some. Let me see, because I have my little guide here. You will learn Swift UI fundamentals and foundations, so the different components that you can use. And then you will also learn data modeling, because that's important. And then lastly, what they would call spatial computing, which is essentially design and the experience and things like that. So that's like a mini boot camp. It's like a nice little primer, but also a nice little like tester course. So that is going to be our first offering. Well, let me bring my other guides over here, because I have agendas and curriculums and syllabuses and all those things. And Mirza, I do see you in the chat. I'm going to circle back to what you've been saying. Let me finish this first. Okay, so yeah, we have the mini boot camp and then the intensive boot camp. There's two options for the intensive boot camp, and it's more so just pacing. So somebody said midday showers are awesome when I was talking about it's storming. Okay, anyways. Okay, so we have the mini boot camp for Swift, and then we have the intensive boot camp for Swift. So the intensive program is more like a standard boot camp that people are used to. However, we will be covering version control. We'll be covering the foundations of Swift and actually programming foundations. So this is either 8 weeks full-time or 16 weeks part-time. So mini boot camp in Swift, intensive boot camp in Swift, full-time or part-time. And then we will also have the free code camp boot camp coming out soon as well. That's a full stack curriculum. The thing about the free code camp boot camp is that like free code camp just completely revamped their whole curriculum, and I think we're still waiting for the back end curriculum to come out. Excuse me. So that is still on the table, and that will be coming out soon. And then what was the last one? Oh yeah, I will be doing a machine learning boot camp as well. That'll be more so focused on Python. And yeah, I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't want to keep holding back the things that I know can add value to people's lives when it comes to getting into tech or advancing in tech. Um, and just downplaying the general idea that, like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Like, no, seriously. I'm like, how many people have to stop me and have a conversation with me personally to let me know, like, how useful my specific teaching style have been, or just, the overall mentorship that I provided for them, like how much of a difference that made for them. And I know that it came from, and it's always coming from, a genuine place. I know that, like, if nothing else, like, I always was happy to be the person in the room advocating for my students and advocating for the overall experience that I know people needed, and not just, what people thought would be good for the program, or what, people thought would be cool or would look good on their resume overall. But yeah, at this point, like I said, I think it's just, there's such a big changeover happening. A lot of what used to exist in the bootcamp space just doesn't anymore. I don't think a lot of, I don't feel personally that a lot of programs are really trying to modernize. I think I've even seen firsthand how programs attempted to modernize and then just completely cut their software development, like, components altogether, just because they felt like it's more trouble than it's worth. Um, and I feel like the people who suffer the most are, people in my community, black and brown developers or aspiring developers, who might not necessarily have a huge access to all the different resources and things that others have, but definitely have the desire and definitely have the capacity, and just need something that works well, for them. So yes, I'm going to be putting together the actual, like, announcement. I plan on announcing on. I want to put an announcement together on LinkedIn. I'm going to make some video announcements too. Um, so I think you can definitely keep up with updates from my channel directly. Follow me on Instagram, because that's my that's my main social media platform. You can follow me on Instagram or LinkedIn. Um, I am Meta Dev Girl on Instagram, or you can follow me on LinkedIn. My first name and last name. I'll put my links in the chat too, in case anybody actually wants to connect. But follow me for the links to the programs and for the signups. I'm going to be doing some sign up opportunities where, like, if you sign up in, like, the first week, you'll get some nice discounts. If there will be, like, a referral program as well. And I'm gonna give y'all my Instagram too. Um, the actual programs that will be running on Instagram.com/. Let's see. Paste. Okay. So yeah, the two main accounts that I use social media wise, besides the YouTube and YouTube and Twitter, YouTube and Twitch, are LinkedIn and Instagram. We technically have a channel specifically for MetaDev World, so yeah, more materials and things will probably be released there. But tonight and tomorrow, I'm going to keep working on getting all of the syllabuses and the curriculums updated, getting the registrations up to date as well, and the time frame, so people can know, like, hey, if you want to take this class, this is when it's going to be offered, this is how much it costs. I think I'll be able to offer, like, Klarna and Is it Klarna and Quad Pay? I want to say, or Afterpay, one of those. I'll be able to offer those. Or you can do like a monthly option as well. And again, to me, like I'm not trying to I'm not trying to like get rich off of like offering boot camps. My goal is for people to actually be able to invest in a program and have like affordable, accessible ways to get into programs. Because at the end of the day, like that's the most important part. Like I think it is important that you invest in your education. It is important that the instructors are paid for their time. It's important that, you know, all free things are not good things, honestly. And my goal is to offer scholarships and as many free options as we can. But realistically, yeah, you're gonna pay for a good education, but it's gonna be at like a completely discounted rate compared to what most people are going to ask for, and also a higher level of overall investment from the teaching staff, having an actual instructor that is working with you, having TAs that support the material, having career assistants and things of that nature, being able to opt into like higher commitment levels when it comes to coaching if you are looking for coaching. If you are already experienced in software engineering, I do offer some more hands-on like group and one-on-one coaching where I've been working with some developers even over the past almost year straight now, building out the basically helping them build up their professional profiles so that they can acquire the jobs that they have. I'm also at a point where I am very excited to be able to say, like, I'm looking for people to come out of a boot camp ready for an apprenticeship. I'm looking for people to be able to come out of a boot camp ready for some internship level like roles, ready to take on some teaching assistant roles, ready to take on um, some roles on like an open source team, because as we are going to be doing a lot of our materials in the modern era of technology, being able to have stream integrations and just different tool sets and being able to build out a platform, being able to build out an actual like AI assistant that really knows how to support and elevate the experience of just learning to code and things like that. All of these are things that we kind of need developed. And one thing that I have done in my career, one thing that has helped me along tremendously, is that I pretty much feel like whenever I wasn't being presented with opportunities, I created my own opportunities. Whether that meant working on side projects, a lot of my side projects got me hired, a lot of my freelancing work got me hired. And those things are not only got me hired, but they got me to higher levels in my career in general. And so yeah, I can definitely, I'm at a point where I can offer those type of opportunities as well. So I'm looking for people to be coming out of the programs ready to go, looking for people that are hungry and really like committed to their work, because I want to be able to offer those first jobs and helping to like stick that like I always tell people, like, basically whenever you get that first job on your resume, it's a game changer. It's a game changer. Once you get that first job on your resume, recruiters will start coming after you. You know, I know like it has been a tough job market, but a lot of things are lightening up. We will be focusing a lot on how to understand and leverage machine learning in your career as a developer, because that is a very new skill set that I don't think a lot of people are addressing when it comes to entry level. And I feel like that's a huge oversight, because not to get off on a tangent on this, but I will say this. Me as a software engineer who has been working in the field for over 10 years, yes, of course, a productive, like efficient coding assistant is a game changer for me, because once the AI really learns how to actually effectively code at least um basic elements of a code base, it it expedites my it expedites my work and helps me like work more efficiently. That's great. However, when it comes to a language models are built on language, which means in order for me to communicate with a language model, I need to know how to speak the language, right? And so, just like you need to know how to speak English in order to communicate in English, when it comes to software engineering, you need to know how to speak software engineering. So, I do feel that there is a gap right now when it comes to making sure that entry level engineers understand and can effectively articulate the needs that they have to large language models. And also at the same time, I think that if you cannot vet whether or not the language model is giving you adequate results, then that's going to be a huge oversight as well. Because as much as I have used, and a lot of people, y'all know, if y'all been here for a minute, if you ain't been here, you can literally scroll back through my YouTube to look at how many streams we have spent where I just spend time just learning about machine learning. Like, that is my particular area that I am specializing in and focusing on. And as much as I've played around with and experimented with and built different machine learning tools, I feel like it's so many times, we know hallucinations exist, but like it's so many times where I look at the code that I get back and I'm like, it's a huge ass logical error in this. Like this is not gonna work. But because I have experience, I can actually look at and scrutinize the results I get back from the language model. And, I'm kind of, like I said, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but when you don't have the experience to do that and you are not like adept at evaluating code that is put in front of you, that is just a huge issue. Like, so anyways, we want to be developers and software engineers in the modern technology world. We want to be able to keep up with what's going on in our ecosystem today, not what was happening 10 years ago. And especially not only using and leveraging AI within our code bases, but leveraging it as software engineers and also building products around it is so important. I built a program back in 2018 called TrainX.ai, where we were trying to convince developers that, hey, you're going to need to know how to use AI APIs and libraries and frameworks and how to incorporate this into your code and things of that nature. So I've been on this train for a long time, and I've been advocating for this for a long time. But like I said, I just wanted to make sure that the programs that we build are thoughtful in what the new era software engineer, software developer needs in their tool set. So I've been talking for a long time, but I kind of wanted to get that out. What if there was a person who would go and try to land jobs for those in the program, like a realtor, but for jobs? Yeah, hypothetically that could be a thing, because we will be offering like some form of career development overall. I would say less so having to go out and land jobs for people, and more so it would be helpful to have somebody that's going out and landing contracts for the overall organization, because I already have the capacity and I already have so many opportunities. I already have the capacity to actually put people on jobs. I already have that capacity, but I need experienced software engineers. I need experienced software developers, and that takes time to build. So I would say more so somebody going out and actually landing those like potential clients would be huge, because that's more scalable. If I land $100,000 project, I could put multiple devs on that project as opposed to trying to land individual roles for every single person. I think that requires a higher level of commitment for the individual that's doing that role. But just my thoughts in general. So yeah, it's 11:45. I did say, like, if I go to bed by 12, then technically I would be good. And I'm over here yawning. But I did want to make sure that we had our live stream today. I wanted to talk about this on the stream first before it gets announced anywhere else. And, just I'm excited overall, but Swift Bootcamp is going to be launching. I have put together the curriculums and the syllabus and everything like that. I have to set up the ability to either get a subscription or pay. I want to set up some discount codes, and I'm going to set up, or I don't know, it might be discount periods, and then I'm going to set up the like referral program. So just kind of outlining all of those things. I do offer some forms of like one-on-one and group coaching, but those are obviously, it's less availability for those. Yeah, I'm gonna put together like nice website with all the information, and you can kind of opt in and see from there. And then once I put together all that stuff, I'm going to do an announcement on LinkedIn. I'll come back and do an announcement on stream as well. I'll basically just post it out in as many places as I can, just to make sure people get access. If you follow me on LinkedIn, follow me on Instagram, or you can also follow me on you can join our Discord. We will be using Discord as like our main source when it comes to what I want to say. Discord would be like our main hub for the actual cohorts themselves. Well, excuse me, my freaking allergies is tripping. But yeah, I want to say that's all I got for now. I feel like I done talked my head off. And yeah, I'll be working on some stuff tomorrow. Ooh, I'll be working on some stuff tomorrow. I'm gonna get the announcements out. So if you are ready to go and you want to sign up, you'll be able to. You can see what all the commitments are time wise, what the actual outputs are going to be as far as the curriculum and things of that nature. And then if you have questions, you'll be able to reach out and everything. So I'm excited, but I am going to get me some rest because I've been up since, I guess I got up around 7 and it's almost midnight. And I got to turn around and make sure I'm up again by 7. So I'm about to do that. I'm about to go get in my bed. I put in so much work today. Also, go follow my Instagram just to support my little reels that I posted. I posted a reel earlier today. Why would somebody say? Oh, midday showers, like showers that you take in the bathroom. I'm thinking that it was talking about rain. I'm so slow. I want to see who posted on Facebook though. But yeah, I did good. I posted a reel on Instagram yesterday and today. And my goal is to like, cause I'm such a stories person. I'm really good. I'm really good at stories. Like, stories are natural to me. But stories don't exist beyond the people that's already following it, essentially. So I just feel like, go Guppy, welcome in. It's going well. I don't know if you caught any of our announcements, but just kind of wrapping up. But yeah, I've been doing good with my Instagram. I was like, I love to post in stories, and stories is natural for me, but like stories don't exist beyond the time frame that they exist, and like most people won't see stories who don't follow me directly. So I'm like trying to push myself to like at least post a reel. So like some things that I probably would have just made a story about, it's like just make a reel. Or if I do put something in my story and I'm like, you know what, this could be a reel, then I'll repost it later, basically. So I'm not gonna say I'm gonna post every single day, but I'm gonna say for the last couple of days I've made like a consistent post. Um, so I'm gonna try to stick to that because like that's just it's I know like some of the content is helpful in and of itself, but just in general when it comes to like growing the community and like exposing the opportunities that we have and the programs that we have, it's really really important for people to see what's going on, and that happens by doing outbound marketing, you know. Yes, I am a Detroiter to my heart, and we are in Detroit. That's where I'm located anyway. So always happy to connect, especially y'all. You will see I wear my Detroit stuff all the time. So yeah, good run for the Pistons. Did they lose? I know it's a lot of playoffs action going on right now. I don't keep up with basketball as much as I keep up with football. So I'm waiting for a Lions season to start again. But the way my neighbor been tripping, I know the Pistons was playing tonight. I don't know what the outcome was. I haven't been keeping up with it. Oh, they lost. Aw. I shouldn't even say that. I was like, I don't even know who my neighbor is rooting for, honestly. But I'm just tired of my baby getting woke up because I have a 2-year old. I'm like, dang, I almost want to say whoever you rooting for, but I don't want to say that. But I'm like, let me not trip because when it's time for the fucking Lions to start playing, I be losing my mind. So, but this year I'm planning on like not even being home when it's time for games. Like I'm planning on if I'm not at the game, I'm gonna be tailgating, that type of thing. So you ain't even gonna have to be listening to me yell into the night because I'm gonna be downtown yelling into the night. Yeah, I'm familiar. Like I grew up in Detroit, so I'm like I don't know like all the suburb locations as well, but I've been in Detroit since I was a kid. I technically was born in Southfield, but I was born in Michigan, so I know Macomb County and things like that. Oh yeah, so if you have an office in Detroit, you definitely. I live in the Midtown area though, so pretty much Midtown downtown is like just normal. Um, but yeah, I do. At this point, I mostly try to focus on machine learning. That's like my primary focus. That's what I want to go back to school for. To get a PhD in computer science and do machine learning research. So that's what I try to keep myself on. However, I do like a lot of full stack engineering. I have done vehicle connectivity as well. Like technically, I've done IoT work. I would say play one on TV, but yes, I've done like a lot of Java, a lot of JavaScript, Python. Those are probably like my three top main languages. Nowadays, I'm honestly trying to get out of the IC world. As far as like being an individual contributor, I do a lot of work like coaching startup founders, especially non-technical startup founders, and helping them build like their MVPs for their products and things like that. So, in those cases, I'm really trying to, like I said, I'm trying to get out of the IC world and just focus more on like high level roles. So like right now, I have just different customers. I do more like a fractional CTO type situation with them. I take on dev work when it's a little bit more complicated to figure out. Um, but if not, I try to get my devs in my community and devs that I've like worked with. I try to get them work. And I try to stay at the high level. That's my goal right now. So like I literally just um, started with a new client where again it's like just pretty much it's like fractional CTO type of stuff. Helping him get through his alpha build and his beta build, helping him manage his dev team, and even some of the founders that I work with that might already have their own CTO, but their CTO might be doing multiple things. So just like technical consulting and things like that for founders. But a lot of startup coaching and less actual dev work for like clients and stuff like that, and just focusing more on machine learning on my side and building out the programs. But I think the I'm going to be leaning more heavily into ed tech and like building out our coding school and things like that. That's pretty much what I was announcing today, because we have some programs that we're going to be opening up. So, yeah, like I need to start focusing on my coding school being like the primary focus if I am building anything, building a learning platform, building, machine learning models that are good for the students that we serve, that type of thing. So that's like a very vague answer. um, so yeah, hopefully I think I answered all the questions. But yeah, I try to do more consulting now. Because honestly, yeah, I'm not as motivated like how I used to be to like sit down and actually build a product from the ground up, unless it's something that I'm specifically like designing or developing. Like I said, for this whole like coding school endeavor is we're getting somewhere with that, but that's gonna be an uphill battle. I think there's a lot of tooling that I want to build to support that, and platforming and things like that. That's gonna make sense. But other than that, like I used to pick up a lot of client work, and I'm doing that less and less these days. Like I said, if I do pick up a client, now the clients I've been picking up lately are more so either fractional CTO type of work, or they might have their own CTO, but they still need some type of like tech consultant. Like I'm going to plug and play next week, um, for a founder to work with a founder. And help her with her demo, like be her technical, person for her demo, because her CTO is not local. So just different opportunities like that. I have like some different programs that I'm running. So besides us launching the boot camps, um, I'm building something called a Hacker House, Detroit Hacker House. That's like my biggest endeavor right now, raising funds for the Hacker House and finding partners for that. We have like a student-based hacker house that we're going to be running. That program is going to run for the next year or so. They're going to announce that for Wayne State students, I think, next week. So I'm like pretty much getting that together, and then yeah, wanting to raise some money for some cohorts that I can just run without partners. Last summer we ran a hacker house with like a VC partner, but I would love to just run a house without any strings attached, so I can accept whatever founders I want to accept into the house. That's my biggest program right now, and I'm trying to get back on the speaking circuit. My big goal right now is to develop the most stellar PhD profile that a top 10 program like wouldn't dare turn me down. Like that's my goal right now. I want to do machine learning research, and I'm very heavy into education, STEM education, coding education, and education reform. So I'm interested in finally moving into the higher ed space and not only doing research but also, advocating for and pushing education reform when it comes to STEM, because the fact that people pride themselves on failing students when they're just terrible teachers like really eats me. You can find me on LinkedIn. I don't know if you are able to scroll back and see my LinkedIn link. I know fractional CTO has been a big thing. I just been trying to figure out like how that fits for me with the different work that I do in particular. But I feel like I'm finally starting to like find my own offerings, like how it works for me in particular. Because I also feel like fractional CTO is super general and generic. So everybody's looking for something different, and different phases and stages of startups are going to be expecting different things as well. Um, but I'm kind of like I'm starting to find my own little sweet spot. Let me see. But feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn and shoot me. Like, if you connect with me, like, let me know, like, hey, sometimes y'all gotta tell me what what your Twitch username is, because I'll be seeing these invites. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm thinking it's just a general person, and it's like, oh, this is a person that I this is a person that I met on Twitch. And it's a whole different lifestyle when you see people Twitch handles versus LinkedIn. But yeah, I need to be better with LinkedIn. I'm about to get my LinkedIn life together too. I'm about to go through and rehaul my LinkedIn, and start posting more on there. But I spend like my actual social media platform that I spend my most time on is Instagram. So I post in my Instagram stories all the time. And I actually respond to my DMs as much as I can on Instagram as well. Unless it's weird. If it's weird, I'm not even gonna lie. If you send me some weird stuff, I'm not about to respond, because like I'm just not about to respond. But in general, like when it's just normal conversations or things that people send me on Instagram, I respond to all my DMs, or I read all my DMs anyway. And so that's like the best way to get like in contact. Feel free to share what kind of work you do. We have a lot of different people that pop in and out that do full stack. We have some front end / back end people, some mobile devs as well. The boot camp, like I said, I'm gonna do a Swift boot camp. Like, Swift is not necessarily my go-to language, but it is more so to serve the actual community we have here in Detroit, where we have, like, we have the Apple Developer Academy. So like a lot of people, yeah, they are learning Swift in that case. So that's something very, very much tailored for them. But we're gonna do like a full stack program as well. So I'm here for it. I'm just like, so I wonder if my neighbor was like a Knicks fan or a Pistons fan. I'm assuming Pistons, and I'm kind of hoping Pistons, because then I'm about to get some sleep again, because he's been keeping me up. But RIP, they made it to Eastern Conference. Not bad. I just want to see my Lions. I want to see my Lions. I can't wait to see how they come out this year. They so ready. And those new, all the new, like, players that got drafted, so cute. Like, I'm just excited. I don't care. I'm like, if I could watch them when they was losing, I'm definitely about to watch them while they winning. And then my baby is 2, but I feel like he also likes football. I try to get him to watch basketball. He's less interested in basketball. We haven't tried watching like soccer or baseball or anything like that yet. I just happen to be like, I used to be a basketball fan when I was in high school. That was years ago. Like that's like Chauncey Billups, Tayshaun Prince era type stuff, and I just feel like the fact that I'm looking at the game and it was a 116 to 113 game, like that just didn't used to be a thing. It used to be like a big deal to hit like 100 in a basketball game, and like now it's just that's just normal. But I'm a big football fan just in general, like of the sport itself. Besides the concussions, and yeah, my baby, he likes football a lot. Like he will sit there and watch the game like intensely, but other sports he's just not interested. So um I feel like it's not just me being biased. So he's ready too, but I'm like, I want to at least see if I could get to the oh the announcement for the schedule is coming out on my birthday on May 14th. That's when the NFL is announcing the schedule for the year. So I will be looking forward to seeing. I mean, I think we always play, like we literally always play the Bears on Thanksgiving, and I want to go to the Bears Thanksgiving game. But now I absolutely fucking have to go to the Bears game on Thanksgiving because which assistant coach went to the Bears? The offensive coach went to the Bears, right? He went to the Bears. The other one went to. Why do I want to say he went to the Jets or something? Where did he go? That sounds like I'm not making it. Sounds like I'm not making it up. The offensive coordinator definitely went to the Bears though. I know. I remember that. I think it was the Bears. Let me see, New York Jets. I didn't make that up, did I? Aaron Glenn is on the head coach of the New York Jets. So I'm less worried about that seeing the Jets, but I want to like I already wanted to go see the Lions versus the Bears. Now I absolutely have to go to that game. That game gonna be so that's gonna be the livest game of the year. Unless I try to think, unless we get some rematches, that's gonna be the livest game of the year for sure. Senior Solutions Architect, Financial Services on AWS, Python, TypeScript, a few other languages. That's so funny. Languages I can read because it really be that. Yeah, Ben Johnson. Yep, he was the offensive coordinator. He went to he went to the Bears. Aaron Glenn went to the Jets. I'm like, I know it was the Jets. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm not making that up. But that's always a good game anyways. The rivalry's so strong, but that's like that's the best way to amplify the rivalry, to send our offensive coordinator over there. And I want to see like what is he gonna be trying to pull out of his playbook. It's just gonna be good, and I want to see how the new coordinators handle their roles. I mean, I trust coach at the end of the day. Like Dan Campbell know what he's doing, so I'm already knowing that whoever is taking over those spots is coming with their own flavor, but at the same time they gonna stay with the spirit and the strengths of the team. But I feel like that Bears game is gonna be something interesting because sometimes it's not like it's like if it's a one-sided game, that's not even fun. It's gonna be fun to see like people pulling out some like actual interesting plays like on both sides. That's what I'm looking forward to. And I'm like, I might as well get some earplugs because it ain't gonna you're not gonna be able to hear after you come out of there. Good luck for real. He has no playbook. Oh. I'm not saying he don't. I feel like, He had some. He was doing. They had a lot of trick plays. They had a lot of interesting things. However, it's gonna be hard to run that on the team that you helped build up. So, but at the same time, him being creative in that way, I'm gonna give him his credit, and I feel like they're going to give the Lions a run for their money, and that's the kind of game I want to see between the Lions and the Bears because just that Detroit Chicago rivalry just so strong. Like I said, because I grew up in Detroit, so I'm like, as much as I love my Chicago people, we do be taking jabs at each other, and that's okay. But I love Dan Campbell. I love how I love the spirit of the team. That's the most important part. Like I feel like our probably some of the other teams exemplify this as well, but I don't keep up with other sports. But like when it comes to the Lions are the epitome of grit. Like the Lions are the epitome of a Detroit team. Everybody's story, every time you see a person's story that's on the Lions, it's like this is some Detroit ass shit. Like what's the guy's name who they just recruited or they just drafted from fucking, is he from Egypt? Was it Egypt? And he like went to Boise. What's his name? Husa not Husa 9 or something like that. That man came. He didn't know what football was. He didn't know what football was until he went to fucking college for playing football. Like, and then he was telling his story. He's like, nobody believed in me but my brother, and everybody said I was gonna come back in 2 weeks. I didn't even know English. It was just like when let me see. When they told like Jake Bates' story, and he like, I thought my life was over. Like he was playing soccer, and then he was like laying bricks in Texas before he came to the Lions, and then this man done turned into a whole like standout like player as a kicker, winning games as a kicker. Like you can't make that up. Like, I don't know. Let me stop. But yeah, Dan Campbell. I mean, just Dan Campbell. Oh, cause it's like Hassa. I gotta figure out how to say his name right. Hassanine. Cause I'm like trying to say Husanine or something like that. Hassanine. He like, I would die on that field for you, coach. Like, you don't gotta die on me. You don't gotta die on the field, okay? But he's still learning football. Like he Egyptian. He's still learning football. Like that's so crazy to me. But that's so Detroit. Like you never even knew you had a whole talent for this, and then you believed in yourself even when nobody else believed in you. Came and did some shit that nobody else probably would have did. And I think he's the first Egyptian to be drafted for sure. I don't know. I love it. I love to see it. Hassanine. Okay. So I'm here for it. I'm like, honestly, them Lions season tickets is like all the financial motivation I need in my life right now. I'm like, I need to have a box at this at the game. Like I need to just be able to go to the game whenever I feel like it. The Jets quarterback retired. See, I gotta catch up on some stuff, but I don't be out here trying to act like I know everything. But when it comes to football, when it comes to the Lions, like that's my favorite. And like I said, I always been a fan. Like even through all the hard years, we had so many hard years, but it's okay. It's okay. But the quality of the coaching and just the way that the leadership, Dan's leadership, is like pivotal in how that team is forming. So, and that's the thing about leadership ultimately. Like at the end of the day, for real, you have to make sure that people don't just follow you just because the title that you have, or people don't just follow you because you say do this thing. Like people are gonna follow you, like really truly follow you because of what you help bring out of them and how you believe in them. And that's what I love about seeing the team. So I'm like, every time I see what they doing, it's even more motivation for me. Like I like watching that team. It's very inspirational. Like literally, that's one of my favorite things. Like I love to watch them. I love to see like I be needing those coaching, those pep talks at the end of the games and like at the beginning of the games. And I try to watch some of his press conferences too whenever they talk about different things going on with the team, because I'm like, I feel this to my core in my actual life. Like which is also their actual life. I don't know, I feel like I was thinking earlier, like I think I just figured out that I think I just figured out that I all my life I've had a like an athlete mindset and an athlete like heart, but I just never been an athlete. But the way that athletes have to go about like growing and evolving and pushing through boundaries and barriers and things like that, like the mindset of an athlete, I'm like I'm not athletic in the sense, that's never been something I've been passionate about, but I definitely have an athletic mindset. So a lot of the times whenever it's Dan is giving his talks, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, like I be needing to hear that stuff myself. Need some friends to go three ways on the tickets. But then you gotta get three seats, right? But yeah, and just I don't know. I'm like he knows firsthand, like as a Lions player, like, and that's just it's so Detroit. It's so Detroit. It's like people love to laugh and have what they got to say. They gonna fuck around and find out though. This is not the place to just be sleeping on people because you think, oh, you heard something, so that's what you want to, that's your impression of the city, and then you never even been here before, so you don't know, you just listening to what people say. And then when you get here you find out like, oh, it's not like how people said it was at all. No, it's not. Or the people not how people said it. No, it's not. But it can be if you want to be on that type of time. But you know, if we just chilling, like let's just chill, let's just all be in it together. But people wanted to, I'm like, it's so crazy how many people wanted to see the Lions fail. Like, why you can't just be happy that they're doing good? Why are you call, like, people's calling them like frauds and stuff, and it's like, what is fraudulent about winning games? Nobody's just out here just letting them win for free, and ain't nobody letting the Lions win for free. Like, you not letting a team that damn near never had the championship ever, you not just letting them win for free. You're not letting them come into your own city and win for free. Ain't no such thing as Lions officially erased home home field advantage. It's literally no such thing as home field advantage unless you're in Detroit. That's the only home field advantage you can ever get. I was watching this thing on Instagram, and who was it? It was, I think it was Kirby. I think it was Kirby. Yeah, it was. It was Kirby Joseph. They like, name 13 quarterbacks you got picks off. Like, name 13 quarterbacks you got interceptions from. I'm like, that's wild that you could name 13 quarterbacks that you intercepted directly. It just be so good. But then they be so humble, like just real Detroit. Just like don't even gotta show off or showboat ever. I love it. Look, I'm like, I can go all I can go all day. So I don't know which company this one is, but I try to have my Detroit brand stuff. So I always buy different Detroit brands when it's local. I wear my jersey on game days, though. I always wear my jersey on game days at this point. Last season I had a Sanders jersey that I wore, so we'll see. I think I can actually get a team jersey this year, but I couldn't even decide whose jersey I wanted to wear last season, so I just got a Sanders jersey, good and classic. But I hope they bring out those blacked out the blacked out Lions logo hats this year. That's what I want, cause I got a black jersey. I got the black Sanders jersey. I want the blacked out Lions hat. 'Cause my hat is black. My hat is black with the blue lion. But last season they was wearing the black hats with the blacked out lion, and I could not find those. Um, so hopefully I'll be able to get one of those. And then I gotta pick my jersey for the season. We'll see. We shall see. Yeah, the black hat that I haven't seen it where you could buy it. I seen Dan wearing it in one of the games. I'm like, and I instantly went and tried to find it, and it was not a thing. So, but I have a black hat with the blue logo, and I have a black Sanders jersey. So black Lions jersey, Sanders. If only I have all of them. If they wasn't, I think I paid like $200 for my jersey too. They're gonna be on sale this season. One military salute Stafford jersey. I'm looking at this. They got an all black. That's 2020. One blue white golf jersey. Ooh, that Stafford jersey though. See, my thing too is like I would never hate on Matthew Stafford. That was my fucking quarterback. I love him. It ain't even his fault that he don't play here no more. Like, don't ever treat him wrong. He gave us so many good years, and he deserved to get some rings too. I was so sad when he got traded. It was a good deal though, but that was like sad. I don't have a Stafford jersey, but I got a Stafford what's it called? Pops. I ain't even bought one of those in so many years. It's called Pops, right? Funko Pop. Yeah, I had like a Stafford one that I kept on my desk for a long time. I would still rock a Stafford jersey to this day because he really gave us some good years. But you got to build a team around the quarterback. That's what Dan doing now. They building that team around Jared. Yeah, he deserved to win. He deserved to win. He did good while he was here. He was putting in work for sure. And I definitely didn't want to see him go out with his career as many years as he put in to not get the results that I feel like he put in effort for. So I don't even care. But yeah, I mean, if it's him or the Lions, you know, you gotta pick the Lions. But I would never act like that wasn't my quarterback. I love him. See, let me get off of this. I'm over here trying to find jerseys. All right, so yeah, we can go down the rabbit hole. I always go down the rabbit hole. I always wear my jersey on game days, or like right after game day if it's like the next day or something like that. But I can't wait till the schedule comes out. My birthday is the same day, May 14th. So I'm thinking about, I haven't talked about it, but I probably gonna do, we haven't did a 24-hour stream since 2020. I might do a 24-hour stream. We shall see. I only got like less than 2 weeks to figure it out. But we might do a 24-hour stream since it's like in the middle of the week. I don't have too much planned. Like all my birthday stuff is mainly happening on the weekend, so I might do a 24-hour stream for that. At which point, then I get to watch the announcement. I get to see the schedule live. So yeah, we be over here. I'm trying to stream, like right now my goal is to stream every Wednesday, but like I didn't get to stream this Wednesday. I don't think I got to stream last Wednesday either. So I knew I needed to be on stream, and then I had made a plan to announce like the programs that I was working on. So I was already like posting about it on Instagram and everything. So that's why we made sure we had a stream today. But I'm also working on getting my stuff together. I don't normally stream this late anymore, so we shall see. But probably if y'all see me streaming this late in the future, it would be more so getting back into gaming. I love tech. I love to code and all that good stuff. But I originally started my stream in order to get better at in order to get better at like working through my backlog, my gaming backlog. So I am planning on doing that, but I had to get my PC back into a good proper state for streaming because I haven't been on there in a long time. And y'all know how Windows is. Every time you go on there, you need to update. Um, and then I want to get my, like all my consoles are spread around the house right now. My Switch is in my room, and my PS5 is all the way in the living room. So I'm working on it, but definitely more gaming streams coming back. Like usually, if you see me at night, I'm probably gonna be gaming. If you see me during the day, I'm probably gonna be working on either co-working, working on a project, or working on building out one of my like tech programs or something like that. So I'm here for all those things. Feel free to reach out, come back and see us, and yeah, every Wednesday is content day right now. So I have been able to work on having streams on Wednesdays, and then I want to get back to having like a couple more streams throughout the week. So that's where we at. I might be back tomorrow just because I don't have a bunch of. I did a lot of in-person stuff this week that I needed to do, so I'll actually be able to sit at my own computer tomorrow and not go out and co-work and not be networking. I have to go for this. Y'all can see my little golf club situation in the back. I'm finally learning how to play golf for real, and I have a clinic on Saturday because yes, trying to be a tech founder and network and do all the things. Definitely golf is a skill. I've been trying to learn golf, chess, and poker. Those are the things I'm like, I gotta get into the heads. But you didn't hear me say that. Y'all didn't hear none of that. Just act like y'all didn't hear that part. But I do appreciate it. Like, thank you for going down that rabbit hole with me because I just be going off on a tangent. But I'm about to go to bed so I can get up because my baby is going to be up on time. And I feel like due to the fact that I stayed up late, he gonna be wanting to get up extra early tomorrow. So hopefully I see y'all around. Let me see. If you send me a LinkedIn request already, I should get it. Oh, yeah, perfect. Okay. See, we be looking so polished and professional and ready to go on LinkedIn. I love it. Oh, man. All right, so I think I already accepted you. Oh, you work for AWS now? Okay, cool. That's nice. I forgot. I be forgetting we have an AWS, like, well, I don't know if we still have the official office here. But yeah, so y'all go to bed. Well, y'all don't gotta go to bed. I'm going to bed. Y'all can go find. Let me see. I'm like, should I raid out to somebody just because it's actually some people hanging out? I saw Frozer was live, but he probably done went to bed by now because he got the kiddos as well. He probably was gone before I even started streaming. Let me see. I'm so slow. I'm typing in LinkedIn when I'm trying to type in Twitch.tv. I feel like such a hater because I'm like, am I the reason? Am I the reason why the Pistons lost today? I just really did not want to keep hearing yelling at 11 o'clock at night. Now, if I keep hearing yelling out, I'll know it wasn't the Pistons that he was yelling for. Oh, that's too loud. Hold on here. Okay, y'all can go hang with go hang with CM Griffin, I think. Who else streaming? There's me. Hi. Wow, our little category be so slim sometimes. It's like hardly nobody streaming right now. At least we got our own category though. Once upon a time, that was not a thing. Creator dashboard. Manage. Raid. Following. Cause she not coding right now. Here, yep, go. Hang with CM Griffin. Always building cool things. And if I don't see y'all tomorrow, I'll definitely see y'all next week. If y'all really want to see me, just follow me on Instagram. That's where I'll be spending my life. And I hope that everybody has a good night.